Hey everyone, I'm Reed Gray, your neighborhood expert, and today we're going to uncover the 3 things that buyers hate in a home. Now, as someone who's considering relocating to the upstate of South Carolina, I was in the same boat as you. Now, I moved here from Florida and love living in Greenville, South Carolina, and I look forward to showing you the way to your next home purchase. So, if you are just getting going, but you're unsure of what part of town might be best for you, you're in luck. I've created a quiz, and it's in the description below. It's going to help guide you to which part of town might be best to suit your needs. Now, to stay up to date with all of my weekly updates, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And I do want to thank Harrison Williamson with Cross Country Mortgage for sponsoring this video. For all of your mortgage needs, I encourage you to reach out to this fella. So in my business, I work with quite a bit of buyer clients, many of them folks just like you who have contacted me through the channel here. If you need some help with your next home purchase, reach out to me using the contact information provided here on the screen. Now, working with many buyer clients, I want to uncover the 3 things that buyers hate in a home. Number 1, when a home is overpriced, it's above the perceived value or out of line with comparable listings. Buyers might not feel it's worth their investment, or even if the property is appealing itself, they may not choose to go see it. Overpricing a home can create the perception that a seller is inflexible or unaware of market realities, and often leads to the home sitting on the market longer. Now, let me tell you this, there have been many times where a home is positioned so high with the price, it makes it challenging just to write an offer, even when the buyer really wants to. Why is that? Well, the buyer's likely going to listen to their agent, such as me, regarding the comparable sales to indicate their perceived value. So as an agent, there's nothing worse than submitting an offer that is well under asking price. The most significant gap I've ever been successful with was $75,000. And let me tell you, those were some hard conversations. Now, it may also give the buyer the perception that the seller may be challenging to work with during the transaction. High prices can pose a hurdle for making an offer because in most cases, the home still has to appraise. Now, we can list a home for $1 million. Now, at the end of the day, the market and the appraiser are still going to tell us what it is worth. Buyers know that overpriced homes might eventually drop in price, but they tend to view them with caution. So when a home is priced above its perceived value or out of line with those comparable listings and sales, buyers might not feel like it's worth their investment. So I'll tell you this, if your home is overpriced, buyers are going to go nuts about it. And I know a lot of times that sellers are like, okay, well, if I list at $575 and I'm really okay with $550, that buyer one might have hesitation in making an offer that's $25,000 under asking price, and you might sit there. Who wins? Nobody, because you didn't ever get that offer. And it might create just a challenging transaction. So if you are going to do one thing, price your home properly, and you're going to thank yourself. Talk to your agent about what your home may sell for. Now, number 2 is extensive renovation, and I've seen this case in point many times this year. Let me give you a quick story from a home I showed the other day. So, y'all, this is crazy. I have this amazing client, used to be a builder, really enjoy working with him, and this home was 7,000 square feet. Now, we go and we're kind of curious about the price, and I said, hey, I bet it's going to stand out to us when we're there as to why it's priced as such. So a home in our market should not be listed at $500,000 if it is 7,000 square feet. We walk in the door and immediately we're like, what happened here? You go in, just kind of projects that weren't taken care of, a lot of wear and tear on the home. It's almost like it was a foreclosure or something really horrible happened there. Not going to lie, we're kind of going through the house. There was blue LVP. Who chose that? Nobody wants that. There's so many things to do that every space in this house had to be touched. It's 7,000 square feet. How much time and how many dollars is that going to take? So immediately it was a no because it needed so much work. Now I'll say this about walking through the property. I had a basement, and you could tell that this home at one time had been really cool and that the people really enjoyed living there. There was a tiki bar in the basement. There was a pool. There was a movie theater, and you walk into the basement and you just kind of had this feeling like, I don't need to be here. And sometimes you get that perception when you're in a home, and it was strange. So there was this one room in particular in the basement, and the wife said, should we go in there? I don't know, do you want to see it? And by this time, they had already ruled out the house. But just sure, let's go in there. We walked in there, and the hair on the back of our neck stood up. So houses have vibes 100%. Hopefully, it's a good one that says, hey, this is where you want to live, and this is going to make a great next property for you. But this place was wild. So extensive renovations, that's a no-go. But I'm going to give you a few tips, things you can do to help maximize your value and your sale. So when it comes to renovations, you also don't know what other problems that you may uncover when you take on that project. Buyers prefer the property that is turnkey, and let me give you this example. So recently I showed a home that was in a great, established, and desirable area. It had been completely redone. It was stunning. The home ended up having 6 offers on it and sold for $50,000 over asking price. You think that the buyers who wanted the turnkey home in this scenario won? Yep. So if you are a prospective seller and there are things that you can do around your home that are easy, such as changing fixtures, painting to a neutral color, removing or replacing old carpet, you may thank yourself for taking on these projects when it's time to sell. Now, I want to add these things to the list as well, as most buyers are not fond of them. You got old roofs, old HVAC systems, and nasty crawl spaces. Now, I get that this is a generalization, but the average buyer does not want to undertake these looming expenses after they've already sunk their money into their home and forking over their down payment and closing costs. All right, so number 3 things that buyers hate in homes is odor and clutter. Now, I know I paired 2 in 1 here, but I kind of feel like they go hand in hand, right? All right, so odor for one is nearly a deal killer every time. Smoke, mold, mildew, and overall stank will cause a prospective buyer to turn right around and head to the next showing. Now, I know I said stank, but you know exactly what I'm talking about when you walk into a house and you're like, that's ripe. So let's take care of that. Let's get some Febreze. Let's clear out those odors. If we need an air scrubber, let's do that. Let's paint, all the things to make it feel welcoming. Now, clutter, let's talk about this. This is a big one. So agents all the time say depersonalize and declutter. Why? Well, we want the buyers to imagine their belongings in the space and not focus on your belongings. I sold a house one time that had an extensive collection of Cincinnati Reds memorabilia. Well, guess what, guys? I'm a baseball fan, so my eyes went right there. I know my job. I know my role. I'm supposed to be looking at the house, but I'm not going to lie. If I said, man, that's a Pete Rose signed baseball, I want to check it out. The buyer, the husband, said, oh my God, that's the coolest thing ever. And the whole time, the wife is like, hey guys, let's look at the house. So I get it. Let's depersonalize, declutter, take the things away from the property that is going to kind of deter their attention. We want them, the buyers, to focus on the things that are nice, shiny, exciting, and your space. Now, when you depersonalize, declutter, it's also going to make your home feel a little bit bigger. So we want a buyer to be excited. Now, I can tell you this much as a seller, that when a buyer starts imagining their stuff in your property, guess what? You have already won. They start planning. The wife said, oh, the sofa's going to go right here. And, you know, our pictures are going to go right here on this wall. The art's going to go over there. That's a good sign. You're likely going to have an offer. You're likely going to make a deal. So take that away from this and help yourself. So I gave you the baseball story, right? I want to give you one story regarding clutter. And this was just spectacular in my opinion. So recently I was at a broker's open and it was stuffed to the gills with eccentric personal belongings. And it was really nice stuff. I mean, there was a $13,000 vase on the table. Now, imagine what the rest of the home looked like, right? And I just want to make sure that this is a success story for buyers and sellers alike. So if you're in the market to buy or sell, contact me using the information provided on the screen, and I'd love to connect. And for all of your weekly updates on the channel, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys here in Greenville, South Carolina. Thanks.